Yeah, that's Jason. Yeah, if you just tell me what your reflections are on the weekend in Dublin.
Yeah, really happy with the boys' endeavour through the 80 minutes. We definitely wanted to show that we're mentally tough enough to go the distance with them. I thought Oscar's try to give us the bonus point was well deserved. Reflecting back, probably a little bit frustrating. I thought at 24-21, we had momentum. They had a yellow card. We had a really good exit with Oscar, and we had a line out probably 24 metres off their try line, and we literally went 3 penalties against us in a row, which we lost that field position, ended up with a yellow card ourselves, kicked the ball out in the full off the kick-off, then we went to another penalty. So our next 5 actions, we just couldn't apply any pressure, which was disappointing because I thought we had them on the ropes there for a little bit, which they weren't expecting. So, so a little bit frustrating, but really proud of the boys' effort.
You had a bit of a new look team in a way because of some of those internationals not being in it. How pleased were you with the way they responded to what was, an enormous challenge?
Yeah, they were great. And even, we obviously had a lot of debutants in terms of playing in Europe, which was great. But guys like Tom Lauday, who's just come back from injury, hasn't played in a long time. We lost Domers late last week, so we had to shift him from the bench to start. And, he's up against the British and Irish Lions back row. And for his first game, he went 50 minutes and went toe-to-toe with them. So that was excellent. Luke Northwell, first start back from injury. I thought Northie was excellent for 50 minutes. So, there were some pleasing signs there.
That try from Cassius as well. I mean, how pleasing is that when something like that comes off that you've obviously worked hard on?
Yeah, it was straight off the training ground, wasn't it? We've worked really hard on our attack in the last month in particular, just making sure that we've got good clarity and we've got good execution. But Nick's done a great job of our attack, and just really pleasing. Like those easy tries sometimes, whilst they look easy, obviously execution is good, but it's always really pleasing to get a first phase try.
And the point, how do you feel that sets you up for the tournament? Because there's a lot of teams that might not get anything out of going there, and as we've seen in the past, every point it can be crucial come the final reckoning with the table.
Yeah, and we had that last year, didn't we? It's an important game this week at Bayon. Like, you've got to maximise your home game, same as the Gallagher Prem. So it'll be tough. Bayonne's been going well in top 14. They've got some really strike players. We've got a big heavy forward pack, so we're under no illusions what we face this week. But look, we're really excited to get back home, and we know we've got to back it up.
I was just saying to Oscar as well, the club's got this rich history against French clubs in Europe. No one will know that better than Nick Evans alongside you. So that'll be something for the fans to get their teeth into as well.
Yeah, well, and the boys get really excited. That's the first thing that I noticed coming in last year as an outsider was they always loved their footy, but as soon as Europe turned around, there just seemed to be a different energy in the building. And this year's no different. Even though we had Leinster first start, the boys are buzzing to get over there and play. And to host Bayonne at home, I don't think we've played Bayonne for a couple of years now. So, there's obviously a rich history between the French clubs and Queens.
And how difficult will it be this week selection-wise? Because I guess you've got a lot of people putting their hands up.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have. It was probably too easy at the start of the Prem, if I'm honest, because we had so many guys in the injury room that, particularly the bench, it was probably too easy. But you want it to be difficult because it drives performance at training and drives performance on the weekend. So, look, we'll have to rest a couple of the other international boys this week as well. But we're feeling, we're coming into a pretty good period in terms of player availability for us.
And as a coach, how hard is that for you to? I suppose that you have to accept it, but is it difficult to not feel that you can it's in your hands to sort of say, right, I'm putting the best team out every week?
Yeah, it is difficult. It's probably a part of the job that people don't see too much. But look, it's better to have those difficult conversations than it being too easy. And I always try to be honest with the boys and let them know where they're sitting and that type of thing, or what they need to do to get back into the side. So, look, they're not easy conversations. The boys mightn't like it straight away either. It's just part and parcel of professional sport.
Top man, thanks a lot, Jason. Good luck this weekend. See you there.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Hi, Jason. So I spoke with Oscar a moment ago and saying a few weeks back he was saying with all the changes that happened at Harlequins going into the season, that you would have liked to maybe a few more wins under the belt, but you're there or thereabouts to where you'd hoped you would be. How's your performance with the European Games? I mean, with Leinster last week, was it about the level of performance you're expecting, or do you think that actually the win, well, Oscar's saying the win was there, it was just within reach, but are you pleased with the performance?
Yeah, definitely pleased with the boys that they went toe-to-toe for the 80 minutes because, you know, Leinster are littered with British and Irish Lions. It's pretty much the starting team for Ireland. So you're coming up a national team with a pretty handy Springbok and a pretty handy All Black in the side as well. So we were under no illusions. And look, whether we surprised ourselves a little bit that at 60 minutes we got it back to 24-21 and I thought the boys were executing the game plan really nicely. It just would have been great just for the next couple of sets if we just had just a couple more shots at them, and if we had taken the lead and they're really on the ropes wobbling, who knows? That's the beauty of sport. So, really proud of the boys, but I feel like we probably left a couple of shots out there which would have made the game interesting.
And obviously the number of penalties in any game, it's hard to claw back, particularly a European game. Is that something that you've been able to maybe focus on, work on throughout the week?
Yeah, it was tough because, you know, almost half of our penalties came from the scrum. So around the field, we're pretty much even on what we'd probably expect in a normal game of football. But I think we gave away 6 scrum penalties, and you know, some of that is just personnel, like when they're bringing British and Irish Lions off their bench, and we've got, you know, a young man and a Will Hobson, like what a great experience for him to learn with that as well. But look, we're definitely aware of it, but I think some of that as well, sometimes it's just personnel, particularly at the scrum.
And just looking ahead to Sunday's game, as you say, back home at Twickenham Stoop, I asked the same of Oscar. What are you wanting from the home fans?
Oh, look, I think they just deliver every week. They're always so supportive of the boys. They get right behind them. We want it to be an atmosphere that our boys feel comfy and Bayonne feel like they're in enemy territory. But we know that they do it. They do that every single week. I think our challenge is making sure that we give them a performance that they're proud of, and we can come away with hopefully a strong victory.